ഗവർണർ ആരിഫ് മുഹമ്മദ് ഖാൻ മാധ്യമങ്ങളെ കാണുകയാണ് തത്സമയം.
I mean, don't try to push each other. As long as you would want me, I'm here. Yes, please. You are from?
From Malayalam Manorama.
Malayalam, yeah.
Letter written by the Vice Chancellor of the Kerala University, a copy of which has come out, in which he has said that some members of the syndicate of the Kerala University does not approve of giving the D.Litt degree to the President of India. Have you received such a letter? Have you responded to that?
You know, last more than a month, I tried my best that we should not discuss publicly something which in my opinion is very serious, which impinges on our national institutions, the prestige and dignity of our national institutions. It makes me, that is, you know, the reason I said that someone else may take over, either through, it can happen only through law. Assembly is not in session. So I said that I am ready to sign the ordinance. That was no ordinary decision. That is not because I was angry with something. I was deeply saddened when I say that we even lack regard for these basic things, that we should respect our national institutions. And I would, now that it is out, I want to draw your attention. I thought you are asking me about the language. Look at the language which has been used. As a Keralite, I ask you, how do you feel about it?
Very shocking.
Very shortly, sir. The language is.
I don't feel like showing my face to anybody outside Kerala. This is the language which my Vice Chancellor, university, which is one of the oldest university, is concerned. Vice Chancellor of that university is writing this language.
But I just learned that your called Mr. VC, Arvind Birla, asked that you should write.
I will tell you. I won't go into, I'm not confirming anything, I'm not denying anything, but I will give you enough idea. I call the Vice Chancellor and you tell me what, suppose you were in my place, what conclusion you will reach. I call him, I say that your former students are complaining to me regularly that Kerala University did not have a convocation since last more than 10 years or maybe more. Sir, the number is very large. You limit the number. The award winners, the gold medalists, they can come to the venue. Others may be online. Do that, but you must hold the convocation. After about a month, he comes to brief me, giving the details that these many people will be present, so many people, we will allow them to be online. Fine. Then suddenly this thought comes, now that everybody knows, I'm giving you the details. Then suddenly this thought comes to my mind that instead of, I have already last 3 months, I have given convocation address in 3 or 4 universities. I said, this is one of the oldest university of the country, not just of Kerala, of the country. Let us invite the highest dignitary. It will be an honor for Kerala University. So I say that instead of me delivering convocation address, why don't we invite from Delhi? I'm refraining from taking the name or the position. Yes, that will be very good, sir. And then again, this is all while sitting in that meeting. The principal secretary is also there. The vice chancellor is there. And then I say, because when he comes here to deliver the convocation address, listen this carefully. If the university authorities decide as per law, we can also consider conferring honorary degree. And I further clarify, I know for sure that Rashtrapati Bhavan has a policy not to accept honor from our own universities. But I shall go, if the university authorities decide, I shall go to him, go to Rashtrapati Bhavan and say that this may be considered a special case because Kerala is the oldest university of the country. So this may be considered as a special case. 4 days later, 5 days later, on 5th of December, he calls Raj Bhavan, and maybe that stage has not come, when I will let you know what exactly he told our office. It is not only that he, poor thing, cannot write 5 lines, he does not even know how to talk and how to convey any message. I was shocked and surprised when I was informed that this is what he has said. I am still not telling you what. It left me stunned. How anybody can use this language? I was, honestly, I am telling you, it took me about 10 minutes to recover. I was not ready to believe that some educated person can say this kind of sentence. Then, unfortunately, I do not know whether it was because of communication gap or something, after 10 minutes, I called CM's office and somehow I could not talk to him. For next day, not so far, I then called the vice chancellor. I said, this is what you had informed the Raj Bhavan yesterday. Then he became very nervous. Possibly he realized that whatever he had said was totally obnoxious. I said, but tell me, what is it? I had given you a proposal. This is again to be, listened to attentively. I had given you a proposal to call the meeting of the syndicate. So what happened? Such syndicate members have turned it down. I said, give me in writing. I will believe when the vice chancellor says syndicate members have turned it down, I will believe it. But from the note it is clear that despite the direction of the chancellor, he did not call the meeting of the syndicate. Then naturally, this thing was bound to come to my mind that somebody else is giving him instructions. Because he has written, I have informally talked to syndicate members and they have turned it down. I am giving you direction as chancellor to call a meeting and you are not calling the meeting. I am the appointing authority. I am also the disciplining authority. He is defying me. It's not question of me. Me is not important. He is defying the chancellor. And chancellor has the power to take action. Then naturally, this behavior coincided with what he had earlier told Raj Bhavan, that I am doing so at the instance of so and so. that is the point when I decided that if there is so much interference that I am asking the Vice Chancellor to call the meeting of the syndicate and he is not calling the meeting, which he had admitted on the first day when he talked on phone, that so and so is not in favor of doing this thing, therefore it cannot be done. Then tell me what inference any other person in my place could have drawn. So I thought, instead of confrontation, I will write to the government that please appoint someone else as chancellor. But now, since then, I have received 3 letters from Chief Minister. In each letter, he says government has no intention to interfere. Therefore, it is not as if this I only wanted to give them time, because it is absolutely clear that so far I have refrained from taking strong action. Now I feel that this cannot be good, because we are becoming a laughing stock. The kind of language, Vice Chancellor writing this kind of note, and I tell you something more. For Shankaracharya Sanskrit University, there were 7 applicants. The committee recommended only 1 name. And what they said? Other 6 are not even worthy of being considered for this position. They lack basic qualities. Now all these seven candidates, from which only 1 name has been recommended. People are talking about this, only 1 name has been recommended. You know, 1 name is not important. Important thing is what they have said about other 6 candidates. They lack basic qualifications, and they are professors of 10 years standing in Kerala universities. This is the degradation to which we have brought the higher education, where Vice Chancellor cannot write 2 correct sentences, where 6 professors of 10 years standing are being described by a committee of which higher education chairman of the Higher Education Council is member Mr. Rajan Gurukul. You have been sleeping for last 5 years. If this is the standard, that's for 6 professors. You are saying that they are not fit, they lack basic qualities. Then what kind of professors we have in Kerala University? Tell me.
Sir, let me clear one thing. The letter of Kerala VC was written in front of you, otherwise he sent it to you.
Naturally, when he is saying to me, I said, give it to me in writing.
Okay.
But naturally, when he comes and tells me about the highest of,
You scolded him, that makes him nervous? You scolded
even
him.
if, so for argument's sake, he became nervous. He is telling the office, I have given him clear directions to call the meeting of the syndicate. He is not calling the meeting of the syndicate. A nervous person will defy the chancellor like this? Tell me.
Vice Chancellor has defied the orders of the Chancellor and has not listened to you. You requesting him to call the syndicate was not done properly, and not even a clear reply has not been given to the Chancellor. So isn't it time for the Chancellor and the Governor to take a very stringent action
No,
against
I think I tried to explain exactly that. That first day, this is what he has given in writing. But first day, what he said on telephone was something very loaded. I'm not revealing exact words. I have the exact words with me. I'm not revealing. Before giving this note, he said that he has been told not to call the meeting because so and so are not in favor of doing this thing. This is what I had told you. Otherwise, if that thing had not happened, possibly I would not have gone to the extent of saying that I don't want to function as chancellor, because I don't want confrontation with the government. But now that government, chief minister particularly, they have written 3 letters. Still, I wanted to give them time.
Sir, when you are saying that you are not in a mood to confront with the government, actually
Confrontation.
Yes, not
Confront.
Yes,
nahi.
yes, yes.
Confront is a different word.
Yes, you are-
I don't want to have these petty fights with the government.
Yes, that I agree. But then you are actually supporting the illegal activities that you have done in Kannur
No.
University. You have appointed the VC.
Actually, that is not illegal. Now again, let me explain. I am of the clear mind that what was done in the Kannur University was totally irregular. It was against the rules. Why it was against the rules? Because what has been done is, for reappointment, we have relied on the act of the Kannur University. Now listen to you. Now listen, please. You have raised the question, therefore now you should listen
Okay, sorry,
instead
sorry.
of talking among yourself. For reappointment, they have relied on the provision of the act of the university. For age, they have relied on the provision of the UGC regulations. There is a clear-cut Supreme Court judgment. You can't do this. Either you rely on this or you rely on this. But tell me, if you are in my position, I am resisting it. Both the letters of the education minister, I resisted. Chief minister's legal advisor is sitting in the Raj Bhavan and he is insisting that legally it is right. I am resisting. Suddenly he says, this is an opinion. This is the opinion of the Advocate General. Now tell me, as head of the government, should I not follow, even though I have my own reservations? But when it is finally to the highest legal officer who has been appointed under my signature, shall I refuse to obey his opinion? I can turn it down, I have the right, but that will lead to confrontation. And here, if you had criticized me, that for legal opinion you had appointed this man, and he was giving you an opinion and you turned it down, then you would have criticized me on that account. After all, we are not, when we are doing whatever job we are doing as head of the state, as minister, as chief minister, at that point of time, for legal opinion, we have to depend on, we just don't go by our own reading of the situation. Here the highest officer, legal officer of the state, my own conscience told me, my own understanding told me that what they are forcing me to bring, not forcing, but bringing pressure on me to do is wrong. But highest legal officer of the state, you see the functioning. No, I have never said that. I have never claimed. You can criticize me. And respect, showing respect to an institution and criticizing somebody for some action, these are two different things.
Sir, pardon me. I will ask a political question. Will you preparing to contest the vice president election in the coming on this?
I do not know if in India anybody so far has expressed his intention or has made some preparations to fight any of these elections. These elections, you don't take decision. I don't take decision. Nobody knows what is going to happen. This is not fair. To try to find motives, this is not fair.
Because there are some allegations that you are preparing.
But allegation, though there is allegation, the wise man, government was not saying anything about me, but the loyal opposition was attacking me. You know, like in England they say, her Majesty's loyal opposition. So here government was not saying anything, not a single statement from anybody. Opposition was criticized, and what they were saying, now tell me, what they were saying, if the governor has recommended to the vice chancellor some name, then he has violated the law. Please, this is important, you must understand. He has violated the law. Baba, I am the chancellor of the university. Even an ordinary citizen has a right to recommend to any university to consider honoring somebody for some outstanding work.
But there is an impropriety in that because the Rashtrapati is the appointing authority of governor. When
So
you are
what?
recommending
So what?
a delete
So
form,
what?
there
So what?
is an impropriety
So
there.
Then to everything when the Rashtrapatis are given in office Bharat Ratna, then everybody is appointed by him. What are you talking about? Out of your head? There are so many honors which have been given to the Rashtrapati. Every single person in this country, any appointment is made in the name of Rashtrapati Bhavan or in the name of governor. What are you talking about?
Sir, but have you given it in writing to the university saying that the syndicate should be called in and this proposal?
Whether I have given it in writing or not, the vice chancellor has given it in writing that I had told him.
Sir, so there's one more question, sir. The appointment of the Kannur Vice Chancellor and the improper behavior of the Kerala Vice Chancellor, both are even now functioning under you as Vice Chancellors. What prevents
No, I have not.
action against them?
Please don't ask me to go into details, but I have told you that I have received these three letters. I have not so far decided because for me, whatever has happened in Kerala University is too serious. This is a criminal action. So I have not yet decided. In this situation, I cannot continue. This is so far. But I would say that Chief Minister letters, he is assuring again and again that they have no intention to interfere. So if there is a meeting point, if we discuss a meeting point, but why I am saying so? Because now I am not going to, I have come to the conclusion that this rot which has set in the higher education, 7 professors applying for the job of Vice Chancellor, the committee which includes Higher Education Council chairman, they say 6 are not even worthy of, they lack basic qualities, basic qualifications. So this is the state of affairs. Now if I review my decision and I resume my duties, then it will be, I have already told you, I am going to take drastic action.
Sir, one more question, sir. Sorry for coming back to my earlier question. Do you think that CM was the one who gave instruction to VC?
If I wanted to discuss this thing, then why in the first instance I will refuse to reveal what the Vice Chancellor said on the first day.
Then
I
why-
don't want to.
So
I
then
don't.
why
I
should-
don't want to. I don't want to complicate the situation further.
Then why should government, why should government...
Whatever action to rectify the situation, whatever action I could contemplate, I have taken that action. And if I am satisfied, last 4 days back when I was going, I said yes, if there is a clear-cut assurance that no interference will be there. I said.
Do you believe in the words of the CCC?
No, it's not question. It's not question of believing. Law confers power only in the chancellor. Once this, then I won't have to depend on them, and for that you can trust me. That I won't need anybody's approval. So far, my approach was that I am chancellor because I am governor. Therefore, I had not realized that the state of the higher education has touched this nadir.
So, sir, if you continue as the Chancellor, you're getting another chance to rectify the problems
What?
you have identified.
No,
Do you
I will.
consider continuing as a Chancellor of the university?
I have not decided so far, but yesterday in the night when I reached Kerala House in Delhi to come here, then some of the Kerala media persons were there. There also I said that to be fair to the CM, he has written 3 letters, and each letter he is assuring that there will be no interference. But still I wanted to give him time and tell him that that now it will be a different chancellor. Why? Because earlier somehow I did not want to provoke any, not to disturb whatever is going on. But the situation has reached so low that if you do not take action now, then you will be failing in the performance of your duties. Forget about everything. The chairman of the Higher Education Council, the vice chairman of the State Planning Board, they are member of that selection committee. They are saying out of 7 professors of 10 years standing in Kerala universities who applied for the post of vice chancellor, we are recommending one only because other 6 lack basic qualification. How come they became professors if they lack basic qualifications? I ask. It can happen only when there is too much political interference.
Can't you correct these interference?
I don't know, but now I will, if matter is resolved and I resume my duty, that will be my total focus.
Can't you correct the government?
No,
That's the best way to correct the government.
you protect the universities because governments come and go. No, always remember, world over, it is not Kerala, world over, the universities, it stinks in the nostrils of those who believe in the independence of academics, autonomy of the universities. Any interference by the executive stinks in the nostrils of those. People, even in developed countries, ministers cannot dare to interfere in the functioning of the university. And universities can bloom, can really develop, can come into their own only when they are allowed to grow independent.
Sir, one doubt. Even if the Advocate General has given a very clear advice, maybe his opinion, on the appointment of a Vice Chancellor, but if the Governor has any doubt on it, or if you think that it was not right, you could have resisted it.
Okay, right. We appoint Advocate General or Attorney. System provides for this highest authority. Only when we have doubts in our mind. Already so many Vice Chancellors I have appointed. He did not give advice. I did not see. Even in this matter, I did not seek advice. But finally, when the opinion comes, you have reposed trust in him. That whenever I will be in doubt, I will seek your opinion and then I will go by that. Otherwise, what is the use of having? It's a different matter if you ask me the question that when I appointed him, I reposed that trust in him. In fact, what if I were in your place, I would ask this question, whether you still have trust in him.
So that is my second question.
That I will let you know in 2-3 days.
ഗവർണർ ആരിഫ് മുഹമ്മദ് ഖാൻ മാധ്യമങ്ങളെ കാണുകയായിരുന്നു. രാഷ്ട്രപതിക്ക് ഡീലിറ്റ് നൽകാൻ ശുപാർശ ചെയ്തിരുന്നുവെന്ന് ഗവർണർ സ്ഥിരീകരിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു. ഡീലിറ്റ് നൽകാനാകില്ലെന്ന കേരള സർവകലാശാല വൈസ് ചാൻസലറുടെ മറുപടി കനത്ത ആഘാതമായി. നേരെ ചൊവ്വേ കത്തെഴുതാൻ അറിയാത്ത വൈസ് ചാൻസലർമാരാണ് സർവകലാശാലയുടെ തലപ്പത്തുള്ളത്. VC-യുടെ മറുപടി ഞെട്ടിച്ചു. വൈസ് ചാൻസലർ തന്നെ ധിക്കരിച്ചുവെന്നും ആരിഫ് മുഹമ്മദ് ഖാൻ തുറന്നടിച്ചു.
ലോകത്തെവിടെയായാലും ഏത് സമയത്തും 24 വാർത്തകളും ഓഗ്മെന്റഡ് റിയാലിറ്റി പാക്കേജുകളും എക്സ്പ്ലെയിനറുകളും വിശദമായി കാണാൻ ഞങ്ങളുടെ യൂട്യൂബ് ചാനൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യാം.